David, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. So you guys, you're thinking it's going to be an ass whooping? That's what I'm hearing.
Oh man, I expect an abusive showing, man. I expect the Seminole tribe to ask for their name back. They're gonna have to be on the search like the Commanders, man. They got to come up with a whole new name, man.
It's gonna be
big numbers for Leary.
Going to be the Florida State football team for a couple years.
Yeah.
Until they figure it out.
Right.
Can I be honest though? I missed that. I thought the Washington football team was like a dope.
I liked it.
And then I was like, they're like, screw it. You're going to take our name. We'll just be the football team. And I was like, I kind of dig this. I hate the Commanders. I think the Commanders.
I hate the Commanders. I feel like the Red Tails I thought the Red Tails would have been a pretty good name as well.
I like that one. And the Red Wolves.
Real quick, we have a. Go ahead, Larry. You got something?
No, I was gonna say Red Wolves and Red Hawks. But remember that dude bought all the names, and he was trying to extort them basically for like all the names that got popular. I do too. Not mad at him, man. That was a genius plan.
Yeah, not mad at it.
Real cool. We have David Thompson on. David Thompson is the NC State beat writer for USA Today. David, how's it going?
Hey, man, just living life. Got to be happy about it.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you on, Dave. Happy to have you on. So let's talk about NC State a little bit. I mean, it's probably, I'm not going to say probably, this is probably the best era of NC State football that I can remember since Chuck Amato had you guys going for a little moment at some point in time. But you guys are pretty much rolling as a program right now. Let's talk about NC State for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been saying basically this entire year during interviews is that this is the team that Dave Doran's been waiting for the last 10 years. I wouldn't say he's built this program from the ground up, but he's definitely taken it through some lean years. And this is a team with a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and, taking away what happened last week. This is, has seemed to be one of the better teams in the country. And I think what you hope to see from experience is that even when you have a setback like you do against Clemson, that you can come back and kind of finish things out, because a lot of the big goals are still at hand. A New Year's Eve bowl game. I don't know if winning an ACC title, that it kind of looks like Clemson may have wrapped that up, but this team has not won 10 games since 2002. That's still on the table. So, one loss doesn't end this season, but if Florida State can come out and surprise them in Raleigh, then there's a lot of problems all of a sudden.
Yeah, so let's talk about O'Leary a little bit. He's been a really good quarterback for you guys in the past couple of years, still on track with that. Just talk about what he brings to the table and just the luxury of having him as a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, really the obviously the experience, but kind of the composure. He's a guy who I know this is kind of something that people say about a lot of quarterbacks, don't get too high or low, but he really is a guy that regardless of, he's got a short memory. He's like a goldfish, right? After 10 seconds, he kind of forgets what happens, moving on to the next play. A dude who's learned a lot from his experience, has really over the summer kind of took his talent to a new level. But I think if you look at him statistically, he doesn't look as strong as he was last year, but he's lost, losing Emeka Emezi was kind of his big threat.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. They still have Thayer Thomas, but the big question mark for this offense has been the lack of development with the other wide receivers, and not having Trent Penix at tight end down the middle has definitely been an issue. But I think that's the big thing that you see is, you were ready to see this offense take the next step, and you've seen them stall in a lot of, big time situations. The defense is great, but the offense really hasn't been there. So I think Leary has progressed in his talent, but it's been hard to see because the guys around him haven't stepped up in the way we expected.
Yeah, speaking of Thomas, he's the guy at receiver. Like I said, other guys had pretty much stepped up, but Thomas is the guy at receiver. He's got to pretty much worries me as far as, focusing on to kind of take out. I feel like if FSU can take him out of the game, they have a good, well, not to say a good chance of winning the game. I feel like we're going to win the game regardless. But I feel like they have a good chance in regards to slowing down the offense in regards to NC State. If we can take him out, that does kind of handicap O'Leary, like you just said, in regards to other options.
So
hit out on him or something? What you mean?
So wait, so Larry on is saying that the Seminoles are going to have to give back their mascot, but CJ, you think Florida State's going to win this game? I didn't know there's going to be so much tension between you guys here.
All right, so check this out, man. So
you can't see. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got a Miami fan and a FSU fan and a UF fan. all together on one podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, that makes more sense. I didn't realize that. All right.
Yeah, I'm a Gator. I'm a Gator. I cover the Gators on the show. My guy Larry Young covers University of Miami. You see green screen, so the audience that's
Yeah,
listening,
I forgot.
David sees green screens and has no idea what's going on if he's not
Okay.
following this podcast. But yeah, we cover the Big Three programs in the state of Florida, and so it's like a rivalry show. A lot of banter
Gotcha.
and disrespectful things happen.
I mean, hold on, let me see. I could bring. I got like a little fat head of myself. I could bring in. Or something. I'm a fan of myself. I guess.
I like that. I need to get one of them.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Are you married? Because like bringing like a date in and having a fat head of yourself and your partner got to be.
Can you imagine? Like I'm married to myself. I'm married to the game. You know, no,
I'm married to the game.
My girlfriend made it for me. I've actually got like during the Zoom era, I have a collection of all this stuff, and I used to bring it a little closer so it looked like, you see at ESPN, everyone's got their great background. I used to have a pretty good one, and this was always the talk piece. So they're like, "Is that you?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's me."
Real quick, we went golfing, so we had a golf tournament in the past, roll-up golf tournament. My man Chris Leet was out there. He had a golf balls with his own face on them.
I love it.
But as we're on the course looking for our balls, we keep finding his balls with his face on. It's like, yo, what? This guy got a
crazy sentence. Crazy sentence. We're looking for our balls, but we can't find his balls.
That is a wild
with
sentence.
His face on it. That is.
All right, whatever. All right, go, David. It gets childish on here, my man.
No, this is what I was looking forward to. So I apologize. What was the question?
Yeah, so I feel like FSU defensively can kind of handicap NC State's offense if they can limit Thomas' production a little bit.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, if you go back to the Clemson game, Thomas had 16 targets and no one else on that team had more than 7. Yeah, I mean,
that's a stat.
I talked to him this week and he's like, man, I slept 3 hours that day. I got my ass kicked. He got his ass kicked, and he's a really tough guy. He's someone not everyone knows, but he was a walk-on in 2017. Okay. Had to earn his scholarship in 2018, and now has become statistically one of the best wide receivers in NC State. Really kind of epitomizes that program. Like they don't really get the 5 stars. They have to find the diamonds in the rough, and he worked his way to this place. So he's really earned what he's gotten. But yeah, right now, defensive coordinators have to be keying on him and saying, okay, beat us with someone else. It's what you do in basketball. You're like, we're going to double team the best guy, beat us with somebody else. So that's definitely something they're going to do. What I look in this game is I think if NC State can run the ball with Demi Sumo and Jordan Houston and slow things down, have these long possessions, make sure the defense has a break, I think they do win this game somewhat convincingly. But I think if Florida State can, if they can get them off the field quickly, get that defense tired, then I think anything could happen. I think NC State's a good team that can lose to anyone. And I, Dave Dorn said earlier this week, he was like, this is the best Florida State team I've seen in a little while. And he also said last year he thought Jordan Travis was an athlete being a quarterback, and now he thinks he's a quarterback being a quarterback. So I think he appreciates the development of Jordan Travis and kind of what Mike Norvell has done with this program the last couple of years. So I think NC State is a better team, but I'm never 100% sure what version of them we're going to get. So who knows?
And Dave, you brought up a good point in regards to NC State rushing attack, because overall it hasn't really been too great, right? But on the flip end, FSU's run defense within the past couple of weeks after losing Fabian Lovett and having Jared Verse limited, it hasn't been pretty well. So that was another one of my takes. I feel that's going to be an interesting battle in regards to who kind of wins that battle, the FSU's run defense or you guys run offense, because I know we want to stop the run and you guys are going to want to establish the run. So that's going to be an interesting battle in itself. And it was pretty funny that you mentioned that, because that was going to be my next point.
Well, that's what I do, man. I anticipate. That's why I'm so good at it. No, I'm just kidding. I think Jordan Houston is junior running back who has breakout speed, is pretty talented. But Demi Sumo is a sophomore this is basically his freshman season, who is just they're kind of just seeing the layers of this guy of the way he breaks tackles, his speed, his vision, his tenacity. I mean, the guy is, I think, a potentially special player and still sort of waiting for that big breakout game. And I think this could be it. But yeah, I think with the way that this offense has been playing, they really do need to show that. Although Devin Leary is ACC preseason player of the year, a guy with a lot of expectations, I think they need to revert to a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more to the run game, and I expect to see that.
You said that guy's last name is Sumo.
Yeah,
that's we had some interesting names because we had a North Carolina guy on here earlier, and it was Duck Smoke. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a basketball player. His last name was Ho You Fat.
Yesterday I saw that.
You caught that one, man. That was crazy. He said the commentator said, "I don't want any tweets. That is that man's last name. Ho You Fat for 3."
Is he a kicker?
No, it was basketball. He pulled up. Yeah, he pulled up for 3.
He shot a 3.
His last name is Hoyou. I'm not FAT. I want to say
literally FAT.
Well, yeah. So Demi Sumo, and his last name's Kargbe, and he is from I believe Libya originally, from Africa. He's got some African roots there, and he's actually he just went by Demi Sumo for a while, but his mother's last name is Kargbe, and he added that this year to sort of like pay respects to her. So
that's nice, man.
Just a little backstory.
I like that. No. What we like to do here.
All right, Dave, let's kind of talk about the defense a little bit. As you just said, it's pretty good. Top 15 ranked defense. Defense line is pretty good. You guys got Corey Durden on the defense line, former FSU Seminole. So let's talk about that defense and some of the
defense top 15.
Yeah, currently there. If you look at the defense list right now, we're ranked 33rd in defense, and they're ranked 15 in defense.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say this just because I know you as the FSU guy, probably my favorite interview on the entire team is Cyrus Fagan.
And let me give you a crazy story, right? So, Cyrus is from Daytona Beach, Florida. I played football at Bethune-Cookman University. His dad was our chief of staff football operations. Cyrus, I seen Cyrus grow up from a damn kid to what he is now. He was around the program all the time, things like that. His dad is Jeff Fagan. He still works on staff at Bethune-Cookman football. So it's crazy. I know Cyrus from a kid on up, man. Small world.
Oh, I meant to ask y'all, with everything with the hurricane, you guys doing all right? Houses, homes, family, all that stuff?
Yeah, appreciate you asking, man. So I'm in Tallahassee, so of course we weren't affected at all by the hurricane.
Yeah.
Silk is in West Palm. They were pretty much on the East Coast, but in Larion, he still enjoys it at this point in time. But
yeah, I was supposed to move down there actually the week of.
You would have got hit too. You would have got hit.
I dodged that bullet there.
Southwest Florida was smashed. So prayers out to them. I know my people in Volusia County and Daytona Beach. It was a tropical storm once it got in that area. In Larion, that's the part of the area you would have been affected by. And it was still flooded within the Daytona Beach area. I know my university took a lot of damage. So yeah, the state of Florida is pretty beat up right now, especially within Southwest and Central Florida.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing all right. That stuff's always scary. I remember I left Texas the moment like a week before Harvey hit, and I was living in like the Beaumont, Houston area, and I left a newsroom, and they were like, I moved here up to North Carolina, and my girlfriend was still there. They were without electricity, and it's shit is scary. So I'm glad you guys are doing all right, but. To answer your question about the defense, it's the strong suit. I usually don't, the using the metrics and the numbers are definitely an indication of how good a team is. But I think, the strength of this team is in the linebacking core with Peyton Wilson, Drake Thomas, and Isaiah Moore. I do actually think that the secondary, we'll see. Cyrus didn't play a lot against Clemson, went out. I think some of the issues they've had have been in the secondary and getting beat. And also that defensive line, with Corey Durden has really improved, but with their sort of that 3-3-5 that they play, they're not a team that sacks the quarterback a lot. Which is always something that what I don't like about the 3-3-5 is I feel like it doesn't pressure the quarterback as much as you need to do in sort of like the new era of football. But the Florida State is going to have a hard time scoring and moving the ball against NC State. I mean, even even Clemson for 3 quarters had trouble against this team. I mean, that is the bread and butter. And I think for Wolfpack fans, the biggest disappointment is that you've got a defense that can win the ACC and maybe get you in the college football playoffs, and you've got an offense that is lagging behind. So I think the big battle is going to be, how does the Florida State defense handle the NC State offense? So we could have, man, you drinking wine over there? That's my guy. Good for you.
Yeah, man.
Look at you. That's what's up. All right,
you got to come back. This is the vibes of the show.
I was about to say, man, like the vibes are immaculate here. I could have done a whole different thing if I knew this.
Yeah. Next time we know, Dave.
We'll have you again, man. Okay. These 2 fellas are lose to you guys all the time, so we'll bring you back. I got some Riesling on the way. I couldn't find my.
Are they on our permanent? Are they on our permanent schedule? It's not NC State, is it? Nah.
No,
it's not NC State. But you do cover Duke as well, right, David?
I don't really. I only cover Duke basketball. I don't do
God bless you. I like Duke. I'm a Duke basketball fan, so.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? Man, last year was my
first. He like a lot of teams. Don't pay him no mind.
No, I don't. I like all
his closet looks nuts. His closet is like sprinkled out all over the United States map, man.
What's wrong with that? And I've been down.
I didn't say anything was wrong with it. I just said what it was, man.
No, but you trying to imply.
As long as you're not change, as long as you don't change who you like, that's okay. As long as you're not like, oh, I'm a real big fan of the Chiefs now. I'd be like,
hell no, 49ers. You're not mad.
If LeBron go to the Chiefs, I consider it.
Well, yeah. Obviously. Hey, man, I'm a lifetime Cowboys fan, so I can't handle that whole 49ers thing. But we're garbage, so what can I do? Riding with Cooper Kupp. What are you gonna do?
So
what it is.
And this, you kind of got my attention saying the secondary is a weak point. I feel like probably the best unit for FSU so far this season has been their receivers, and of course the development of Jordan Travis, hit from going from the years past, how he's been developing over the years. So that could be something that FSU could get going. But my issue with that is the pass pro. But you also just said that you guys are pretty with the 3-3-5. It's kind of hard to get pressure, so it's going to be interesting. I got a couple more takes for you, David, then we get up out of here. What do you think? What does NC State has to do to win the game, and what does FSU have to do to win the game?
NC State needs to move the ball. I don't know. These questions, I'm always like, they got to score more points than the other team, I think NC State's defense, which they do well, create turnovers, short field for the offense. Yeah, I think they have to. What I said earlier, they need to develop a run game, and it needs to be run first, pass second. I think, and then I think for Florida State, it's almost a similar thing. I think they have to force NC State into mistakes, and I think Jordan Travis just kind of needs to ball out, honestly. Probably have like his best game, and yeah, that's what I would say. I think Jordan Travis has to play out of his mind, and I think the defense needs a couple turnovers. Yeah, that's well. I'll go with that.
This is my last take, and we get your score prediction. Let's talk about the atmosphere. It's going to be night game in Raleigh road. I know we have some weird situations playing, night games in Raleigh within the past at FSU. Let's talk about the atmosphere and how rowdy that crowd will be.
Well, I got to give them credit. I mean, their atmosphere is pretty damn good. I thought it was one of the best I had seen until I was in Clemson last week.
Oh yeah, that's
different. Man, that hype train, and it's an outside press box in Clemson, so you're a part of that. And I was like, and I can't, in the fourth quarter they put on like Kid Cudi, or is it Kid Cudi? Not Kid Cudi. The Pursuit of Happiness. Is it Kid Cudi?
Oh.
No, it's
yeah.
Is it Kid Cudi? And I know everything.
Yeah, big Cudi fan over here, bro.
But that song came on, and I was like 10 years younger. I was like, "Let's go!" Like, I mean, it was hype as hell. It was like hard not to get into it. But NC State will have the same kind of thing, especially when the lights are up there. NC State is a very, very passionate fan base, and they've been through a lot, and they still show up, and it will, 8 p.m. kickoff, it's going to be lit for sure. But if Florida, it's also a fan base with any fan base that can be taken out. If Florida State can sustain long drives, make NC State make a few mistakes. I mean, the tailgating there is good. So if it's not a good game, they'll leave at halftime and they're not going to come back. So
just go back and check the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, it'll have a similar feel maybe to the LSU game a little bit. Kind of what it was like there in the Superdome. So yeah, I'm sure this will probably be one of the.
I skipped out on that shit show. Yeah. Went in. No.
It'll probably be one of the more hyper venues for sure.
Okay. All right, Dave. Let's get your score prediction. What you got?
Score prediction. Let's see. So last year was 28-14, correct?
Yes. Mackenzie Milton. Well, that game was so crazy. We
always
killed by the damn flu. No, seriously.
That was a weird game, man.
Yeah, it was.
Flu, Mackenzie Milton, cleats.
Man, you know
what? Back to the white jerseys.
What I remember about that game is I flew into Jacksonville the night before, and my dumbass had scheduled my hotel. I thought it was for that night, but I actually did it for like 2 weeks later because I'm just dumb like that.
You're out of gas then. You're out of gas.
So I showed up, and it was also the week I think Jacksonville was playing Tampa Bay or something like that. And so I got to the thing, and I was like, hey, can I get a hotel or can I get a room? This is when I reserved. She's like, oh, honey, you messed up. And I was like, are there any rooms anywhere? She's like,
done that before.
Yeah, it's the worst. And I was like, I didn't have a car
confirmation. I know you lying. My shit right here. Hold on 1 second.
No, totally. I was like, what can I do? And she was like, hey, the only thing we have is like the penthouse room, and I was like, all right. Like, what are you gonna do? And then I was like, thank you, USA Today. So I had a nice night.
I was about to say you're charging on the card, baby.
I was just like, what are you gonna do? So
they got nothing left, boss. What you want me to do here, huh?
So I'm gonna say I think NC State's going to have a little bit of a hangover, a slow start, but I think eventually the offense figures it out and the defense, keeps them in the game. So I'm gonna say 27-17 NC State. I think there'll be some field goals. I think there'll be some stops, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy high scoring game or anything.
Let's go, big Wolfpack. So what time y'all play?
We got the nooner, man. Big brunch vibes, man.
I think we can make it down, man. I feel like I might go down.
Who's Florida playing this week? I don't even.
We got Mizzou, man.
Oh, well, easy go.
Yeah, I feel the same thing.
No, Mizzou got solid defense, man.
Now I'm about to say Mizzou,
and they got some playmakers.
Yeah,
I'm not
trying to give them a game.
If they play at home, then yeah, but on the road, nah.
Fair enough.
David, we about to run down on them people, David. That's what we about to do, man.
I just want to know because I was thinking maybe we could go down to Raleigh, man.
Who?
Yeah. Well, actually, I live in Asheville.
Saturday?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't actually live in Raleigh or Durham.
Asheville's beautiful, man.
You stay by the mountains.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you what Dave just told us on the low is that he getting money.
Yeah,
Asheville is not cheap, Jack.
Well, I mean, let me say this. I'm renting. I'm renting.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
But I'm making it work.
I love Asheville.
We're doing all right.
I love Asheville. If y'all never been to Asheville and you're a beer enthusiast, you're missing out. Go out there, man. They got some great breweries out there. One thing I like about Asheville is like there's a segment of the town where everybody just makes everything. The soap, the dog food.
River Arch District, baby.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they ain't really with all that going to Walmart type stuff, bro. I went and got
that's where I got this
donuts.
Made,
Yeah,
oh, really?
Bro, I got 6 donuts there, and that lady said $24. I said no, I only had 6. Yeah, $24. Like, oh,
yeah, they don't haggle in Asheville, man. They're like, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
I just thought I thought she had the wrong order, but they were good. They were very good.
They got a St. Ives dispensary out there.
St. Ives.
So here's the thing, though. Right about an hour from Asheville is the Cherokee Reservation, and they got like a huge casino and all that. And so when I used to work for the Asheville paper, I'd go out there and like do some stores in Cherokee, and they've been out there growing marijuana for like years now, getting ready for it. So like,
we got to get up in there.
Yeah, so it's happening. It's gonna happen.
This is a friendly.
Not that I know anything about that or anything, but
right.
Rumors.
Nobody listen to this show, man. You can be honest on here, man. Papers Papers or cigars? What do you prefer? Papers. My man.
It is. Paper
Oh,
planes,
that's what I'm
baby.
talking about, Dave.
Paper planes, baby. Hey,
Yeah.
you on the right show. You are on the right show, man. The
Right
roll
on,
up
I feel
ain't it. Yeah.
So give us your score prediction.
500.
Man.
Oh, my bad.
Nah, man. I think it's gonna be a close game. Like you said, I like the LSU type game. Give me 27. We called the beginning of this 3-game stretch for Florida State skid row. So you're
Yes,
in the
sir.
middle of the skid, man. Nice little skid down these underwears, David.
Hershey Highway, baby.
Hershey Highway right here. So I got this score, low scoring affair, 24-27, NC State.
All right.
Baby.
I got a bigger gap than that. Pause.
Whoa.
Yeah. I paused it. I think NC State gets the offense revved up a little bit. I think the defense for FSU right now is reeling just a little bit. I think this is a game where Devin Leary kind of reminds people why he was in those conversations a little bit earlier, and it gets going a little bit. Yeah, I mean he was discussed in that first round conversation, so I think this will be the game where you kind of be like, hey, I'm not trash. You know, Clemson's just pretty damn good, and I don't have the receivers, but I think you can get it going a little bit. So give me NC State 34, Florida State 24.
Wow.
All right, man.
That'd be a fun game. I'm into that.
Yeah, it would be. No. When if it's a 34-24 on the other end, then it'll be a fun game.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, so give me FSU 26, NC State 24. I think Jordan Travis does what you says.
Now that's a fun game.
Receivers can. I feel like the receivers can get some stuff going. I think the defense gives up a lot. Well, not a lot. They give up some, but they don't give up. They don't break. Let's put it that way. They kind of have a bounce back game. I feel like Wake Forrest. Probably going to be the toughest offense that FSU plays all year, just based off what they do. So I think they kind of bounce back a little bit. Dave, that's a pretty good offense. I think they bounce back this week against NC State.
You probably like, how in the hell he get to 26? But if you remember, they don't have a kicker.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was looking at that today. I was like,
game like
4 of 9 or something. He was not.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's mixed extra points as well, man. And also most of those, like 4 to 9, like most of that stuff is within like 45 yards, within 40 yards. It's not.
And that's not very. It's not very FSU like. One thing FSU normally has is a damn good kicker. Yeah. They may have blown some key kicks against Miami in the past, but that might be their only game where they do something like that. That is weird for FSU not to have a pretty clutch kicker, man.
They've been inconsistent since Avocado Brothers.
But I see that kind of started the slide. Yeah,
it did. But Dave, let the people know where they can find you at.
Right here, man. Right in Nashville. No,
I'm about to say you joined the network.
Yeah. You could find me at Twitter at DaveTH89 or on USAtoday.com with NC State. But if you're more local, the Asheville Citizen Times, Fayetteville Observer, Wilmington newspaper. I don't remember. I'm not doing a good job of selling myself here. I can't even remember the papers I write for.
It's all good, man. That's what I say.
Yeah, just catch me on Twitter at DaveTH89. That's the best place to find me. That's where I'm at all the time.
No doubt, man. I'm about to follow you right now, man. I like this guy.
Oh, yeah, Dave, it's been a pleasure, man. You definitely got to bring it back.
Yeah, man, anytime, man. If you guys want to do a basketball or whatever, I like talking ball, so it's always fun.
Already, man. We'll stay in contact, man. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all take care.
Appreciate you, Dave. Take care.
All right, man. Take it easy.